talking about fighting, not just the sport aspect. I've got this hand here. If he pulls that back and goes to maybe give me a hook to the head, right, that's a good opportunity for me just to come around and take the back. And then from there I can grip high, I can grip low, I can look for a takedown. We can work those takedowns from the back and show those to you later on. But just the ability to get around and behind the guy is very important. So from here, you have this. If you see him rear back for that big hook, no reason why you can't go underneath that. Stay tight. Now you've got his back. Showing a few basic takedowns from the underhook. Real quick, I just want to show you a couple takedowns from center position. Center position is when you have both hands around the guy's waist here, okay? I don't want to bury my mic, but you want to be as close as possible to this guy. And I want to have my hands in one of two places. The preferred place is high, like this. When I have my hands here, I've got total control of the guy. There's nothing he's really going to do to me. Another takedown you'll see that a lot of the Brazilians use is they have the hands low. It's a good takedown, especially against a stand-up fighter if he's not a wrestler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grip my hands. I'm going to have them low in the back. I'm going to push forward with my upper body and pull in with my hands to arch him over. Now as he goes over, I'm going to hook. And I'm always going to hook opposite of the side my head's on. So if my head's on this side, I'm going to hook with my left leg. If my head was on this side, I'm going to hook with my right leg. That's to stagger my balance so that I don't get rolled and to make sure his head hits the pavement before mine does. So we're from here, I pull in, I'm going to hook, and then just walk it back to a mount position. And then from here, I'm not going to sit up and go crazy with strikes. I want to stabilize my base. Bring my knees up, and if he gives it to me, I'm going to take high mount. We're going to get into that in our grappling tape. I just want to show the takedown right now. So once more, I have that sound position. I get low, I pull him in, hook behind, and down. It's a good basic takedown. If you can get a guy up against a wall, okay, or against the ropes, you can hook behind the leg, spin and turn him, and you can get him down to the mat using this technique.
Well, I think you're seeing that more and more, especially with wrestlers who are starting to compete in this arena. They have the ability to keep the fight on their feet if they wish to, or take the fight to the ground if they want to do that too. And there's that transition there in the takedown phase of fighting that I think wrestlers are real adept at, and that comes from being able to tie your opponent up and keep him on his feet, not allow him to take you down or go to his back and try and pull the fight to the ground. And if that comes from being able to control the clinch, underhook, and get good position, stay inside, and when your opponent does try to shoot or take you down, knowing how to react with your hips and sprawl and do some of those things that we do real commonly in wrestling.
Okay, the last throw I'm going to show you from center position. We have the step behind, okay, when we're down low. Now I'm going to have the arch and turn. You can either arch your back and turn, or you can twist and turn. Okay, it's up to you. I prefer the twist and turn. It's easier for me, but it doesn't matter. Now, if you're taller than your opponent, you can get away with it, then this is always the grip you want, because it's going to keep the guy from launching down with two overhooks. You're going to have total control of him. If you're not always capable of doing that and having that grip, if you're smaller, then you want to make sure your elbows are in and not out like this, where he can crunch them down. So you want them in and towards you. Okay, then you're going to control that center position with that leg, and then twist around and throw. And you don't have to be bigger than your opponent to do that. That's one of the fallacies. People think wrestling's all size and strength. There's a lot of technique there. Here's an example. Let me use one of the fighters from the gym again, Ewan. He'll show this and demonstrate this basic takedown on Nathan. Beautiful. Good job.
What was it like to finally work out and train with him?
The first time sucked. It really did. Oh my God. I got a lot out of it just because it changed my perspective on a lot of the things, and the way that he was doing them was quite a bit different than, we were training with the same type of curriculum, but it just wasn't with the same kind of for enthusiasm, I guess, that was with Matt. It was pretty eye-opening. Playing basketball, or some of the contact sports can actually hurt some, but I mean, you know, if you want to fight, it's a bitch. I mean, it's a tough road to hoe. You got to put on headgear. You got to put on, you know, the gloves and some elbow pads and knee pads, and you're gonna take your lumps now and then if you really want to learn how to fight. But that's, you know, when it's all said and done, you know whether what you did worked or not. That it is a sport in a way, but in another way. I mean, the reason I started and wanted to get into martial arts when I started training in my friend's garage was because I was working bartending and I had to throw a guy out one night. And he was a big guy, and I was lucky I didn't get hit or anything. But I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was scared to death, you know. And I was like, man, I want to know what to do. If the guy would have swung at me, I didn't want to be the guy that froze and got hit and got the hell beat out of me. And it wasn't something that was going to go away. I had to go to work the next weekend, and if somebody got acted up and needed throwing out, I might very well have to be that guy again. So, or, you know, for the same thing on the street. You know, I don't want to find out on the street that I spent 15 years practicing a martial art to defend myself and find out while I'm laying in the hospital or be dead because I was wrong and didn't train hard and took a few lumps in the gym along the way, you know, under controlled circumstances where I'm working with a partner and not an opponent, where I could actually, you know, learn and have a safety net where I could stop if the need was to be there, but actually push the limits to find out, again, what works and what doesn't in real time with that aliveness. You know, that's one of the things that draws me to keep working out with him, too, is that I've never heard him brag about any one of his matches, and I mean, he pretty much whips on everybody at the gym. I mean, he's a big guy to boot, but I mean, his skill level is pretty phenomenal. I mean, he's a talented fighter, but you'll never see him bragging about it. I've never seen him putting anybody else down for the way that they approach things, even from other gyms, you know, that don't approach things the same way. I mean, he definitely will tell you that he does not agree with it, but